Công ty chúng tôi có những dịch vụ buôn bán bảo hiểm 50 tỷ bang, cho vay bất động sản cơ sở thương mại 50 tỷ bang, mua bán nhà cửa ở California. Nếu quý vị cần đến dịch vụ, xin gọi điện thoại 925 595 5605. Email là vimxmy@gmail.com. Cảm ơn.
Looking great for her.
More controversy for Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao 4 days after FBI agents raided her home. Tonight, the mayor and her attorney parting ways following an emotional press conference.
First and foremost, confident that I will not be charged with a crime because I am innocent.
And I saw the press conference, and I realized that this was a very different approach than mine.
A defiant Mayor Sheng Thao addressing the public for the first time since her home was raided by the FBI. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Meebeck.
And I'm Heather Holmes. Mayor Thao did so without now her former attorney, Tony Brass. KTV's Zach Sauce live now in Oakland with all of the latest developments.
Yeah, and Tony Brass telling me earlier that he was caught off guard by this morning's news conference, a news conference Mayor Thao used to declare her innocence and rail against everyone from the media to the FBI and her critics.
I have done nothing wrong.
Embattled Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao addressing the public for the first time since her home was raided by FBI agents last week.
I am confident that I will not be charged with a crime because I am innocent.
The mayor now preparing to defend herself with new legal counsel after parting ways with attorney and former federal prosecutor Tony Brass.
I asked to withdraw from being her attorney today. It became clear to me when I saw the press conference that she and I had just different approaches about the case.
Both sides describing the split as cordial, but Thao contending it was her decision to make the switch. The move comes as she's expected to meet with federal investigators this week.
As of Friday, I had no information that she was the target of the investigation. And continuing through today, none of that changed.
Last week, the FBI also raiding several properties tied to the politically connected Duong family, who owns a company managing Oakland's recycling program. So far, no charges have been filed in the investigation.
I want to know what probable cause the FBI has. What evidence have they collected that justifies raiding the home of a sitting mayor?
At Lake Merritt Monday, Oaklanders with mixed views on the controversy now swirling around their mayor.
Shocked, honestly. I mean, this is the mayor of Oakland, and so we assume that you're going to be operating in a way that's full of integrity.
I know that there's some sort of investigation into somebody who made campaign contributions to her. So it sounds like it might be more that person than her.
I am concerned about her as a mayor. I don't think that, if there's something illegal going on, I definitely don't want that going on in the city government.
Thao, meantime, lashing out at her critics and enemies she says are behind the looming mayoral recall now on the ballot for November.
I want to know more about the handful of billionaires from San Francisco and from Piedmont who are hell-bent on running me out of office. I'm not going down like that. We're not going down like that.
And Mayor Thao again expected to meet with federal investigators sometime this week. Her office telling me that she has already lined up new counsel to represent her in this ongoing investigation. Heather?
All right, we will have to see what happens next there. All right, thanks so much, Zach. Appreciate it. Earlier today,
new details about the man seemingly at the center of the FBI's political corruption investigation that raided the mayor of Oakland's home last week. Now it's getting more interesting. A short search on Andy Duong's Instagram page shows he frequently posts with people in high places in the political world, including President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, Governor Gavin Newsom, multiple pictures with Attorney General Rob Bonta, and Health and Human Services Secretary and former AG Javier Becerra. The list goes on, including some in other states like Nevada AG Aaron Ford. According to an investigation by the Fair Political Practices Commission, which is a state oversight arm, Andy Duong was the true source of at least 93 contributions to multiple local campaign committees when he created a campaign contribution laundering scheme to benefit his family-owned company, California Waste Solutions, or CWS, falsely using the names of intermediaries or straw donors instead of disclosing CWS as the true source of the contributions. According to the FPPC, this is an ongoing investigation with evidence suggesting it started around 2016 through at least 2018 and included some campaign contributions that were fraudulently concealed from the public. All but one of the campaign committees targeted were in jurisdictions with local contribution limits. And the investigation found during this time, the city of Oakland prohibited campaign contributions from contractors providing services to the city, requiring city council approval. Yet documents show many of the targeted committees were candidates running for city council. For example, Sheng Tao, running for city council in 2018, received $9,900 from Duong that the FPPC alleges was laundered through 13 different people. The report also alleges that Larry Reed received $5,600 that was laundered through 8 different entities. Dan Kalb received $4,200 allegedly laundered through 6 different people or entities. Rebecca Kaplan allegedly received $3,500 laundered through 7 people. And former council member Desley Brooks received more than $18,000 over 2 campaign cycles, allegedly laundered through 24 people. Former council member Abel Guillen, who's now California's Deputy Superintendent of Public Instruction, received $4,200, allegedly laundered through 12 different people.
Shady, unethical. They tend to, they tend to operate like in this sort of kind of bribery system, to buy influence and to influence. And they do, they get a little more sophisticated here in America because we have more rules.
Shirley Guy is the executive director of the Vietnamese American Community Center of the East Bay. Guy says she got to know the Duongs at a gala fundraiser for Vietnamese American seniors.
In the gala, he jumped up and said he was going to pledge $1,500 to the seniors. And, everybody clapped and, thought that was wonderful. And then when we went to collect from him, we sent multiple emissaries, to him within the Vietnamese community. Say, hey, what's the deal? You pledged this money. It's for the seniors. Where is it? And he at first, tried to do that hiding game. And then we sent emissaries to try to collect. And then, but in the end, he stiffed us.
According to an ABC 7 News analysis of state and federal data, both Andy Duong and his father David have made contributions totaling more than $250,000 to 28 candidates across California. More than 300 other contributions totaling over $2 million were sent to candidates or political action committees across the country, including donations to the campaigns for Representatives Eric Swalwell, Adam Schiff, Barbara Lee, and even former President Donald Trump. A campaign spokesperson for Congressman Schiff wrote the I-Team, following public news reports, the campaign will be giving $26,000, the total contribution received from Mr. Duong and his family, to a local nonprofit helping address housing and homelessness. We reached out to the other public officials directly, but haven't immediately heard back. For the I-Team, Stephanie Sierra, ABC 7 News.
Tell me now that Mayor Thao has shown up and what is next in the process of the investigation. We are joined by the former public information officer for the previous Oakland mayor, Justin Burton. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's really dive into this. What was your first impression of all this?
Well, I'm still a little stunned, I'll be honest, Teresa. Initially, I'll give her credit. She came out swinging. She brought high heat with the defiance. The part that has people question was the hard pivot to idea that there's a conspiracy between billionaires and millionaires in Piedmont and the FBI to oust her from office. That might be a lot for Oakland residents to accept.
So she went kind of down a victim path and, you know, blaming others for her problems. Is that a winning strategy?
Well, that I'm not the only one who noticed that as well. There was a bit of self-pity in this speech. You don't often see that from elected officials, particularly from major cities. This is the big leagues. And that clip that you just showed before the lead-in, she was saying, I just can't catch a break. The hard reality is when you're the mayor of Oakland, nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're having a bad day. They just want their streets paved. They want the trash picked up, and they want crime to come down. One of the things the mayor began her talk with this morning was the tragic shooting at Lake Merritt where 15 people were wounded. That was a major trauma to our community, and the mayor was silent for 4 days. Last night, there were 2 homicides in Oakland. The mayor did not mention them at all. So she's got a lot to do to catch up.
And then she kind of, you know, she made the comments about, you know, that she wants answers from the U.S. attorney. She's not going to get answers from the U.S. attorney. And it seemed that she was trying to pivot the attention away from the FBI. I mean, the FBI, of course, is going to do what they think is the right thing without consulting her. So that seemed kind of a bizarre play.
You know, that's right. Everyone in law enforcement who's analyzed what happened at her home would tell you the FBI doesn't go into the home of an elected official and hang out for 4 hours in front of the media with FBI on their windbreakers unless they got the goods. Now, she might not be the target of the investigation, but certainly there was something in her home that they were removing and that they were okay with showing the world that they were coming out of the mayor of Oakland's home and hauling off evidence. Even though they haven't spoken yet, that's not the FBI's MO. Everybody knows that FBI is not going to give you a call if they want to move in onto your home. So a lot of people were trying to follow that logic as well.
Oh, and Justin, I want to address this whole issue because a lot of people don't understand what a target is. But a target is superfluous. It's irrelevant. If, for example, there's an indictment, she could still be charged. So this whole issue of whether she was the main focus, which is what that legal term refers to, the main focus of going in is irrelevant if you are charged.
And it's irrelevant in the court of public opinion, and it's irrelevant to Oakland residents right now. They just know the FBI moved on the mayor's home. So she was clear that she believes she's not the target of the FBI investigation, yet she also strung together a theory she is the target of a conspiracy that involves the FBI and millionaires from billionaires in Piedmont and San Francisco, which again might be a really hard sell to Oakland residents.
What about the aspect that there were 3 other homes that were a part of this larger FBI law enforcement action? So do you think that was unusual? She didn't mention anything about, we have received word that this was all about campaign financing and California Waste Solutions. So there was no word about that. She didn't approach that at all.
No, before she came out and gave her comments, her chief of staff entered the room and let the media know she wouldn't be taking any questions under the advisement of her attorney. So we have to believe every word that she read from was scripted and, you know, had eyes of her attorney on it. And they gave us no new information of how they might be associated with this investigation.
Do you think that it was interesting that she didn't answer questions? Because on one hand, she said that she wants to be transparent, yet, however, she did not take questions.
I do, and I think that's going to be another thing that's difficult for her up until what appears to be a recall election in November 5th. Oakland residents want their mayor to be transparent and responsive. So the fact that she felt like she can go into the media and give a speech, take no questions, that's not going to fly when she's out in the community and she's at a public event. People are going to want to know what's the real on it. And if she just says, hey, I can't talk about it because my lawyer said, that's going to leave a bad taste in people's mouth.
What was your take on her take about the recall, that it's a waste of time and money? What is your take on that?
Well, that's expected. She shouldn't feel like a recall is a serious endeavor. But the reality is they got the signatures. It got certified, and barring any legal interactions or legal interruptions, it'll be going on to the November 5th ballot. And at that point, voters are going to have a yes-no decision, a thumbs up, thumbs down. She doesn't have the luxury of having to run against someone else on that ballot. And that's going to be a high bar to clear. That's why you heard her message today that the real enemy are millionaires and billionaires from Piedmont and San Francisco and the FBI. That's who she's hoping to challenge on that ballot. When people go for that vote November 5th, they want to say, are you going with the mayor or are you going with aligning yourself with millionaires and billionaires and the FBI?
Justin Burton, thank you very much. Former Director of Communications with Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf, former Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf. We look forward to more insight later to come because certainly this is a big news development.
We have been breaking into regular programming all morning long to bring you that latest news out of Oakland, where Mayor Sheng Tao's home was searched by FBI agents and other federal agents, and they left just about an hour ago carrying boxes from that home.
News we're following for you this afternoon. Multiple locations raided by the FBI in Oakland. That includes the home of Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao. Mayor was due to appear at an event this morning at 10, but she was a no-show.
I am innocent. Just like you, I am seeking answers from the U.S. Attorney.
So let's talk about the mayor of Oakland's house being raided by the FBI. Okay, so we've done a lot of stories about what's happening in Oakland. Here on this channel, we were focusing specifically on crime in Oakland. See, right before the Black Lives Matter movement happened, the crime in Oakland was going down to historically low numbers. Check it out.
Oakland is seeing a dramatic drop in the crime rate, especially when it comes to murder.
KPIX5's Ann Makovic takes a look at the strategy by the police department, and it appears to be working.
Yeah, good news is certainly welcome. This is a city that has averaged more than 100 homicides a year for the last 4+ decades. And today, Oakland leaders releasing the annual crime data report, which they say shows a steady 5-year decline in shootings, homicides, and robberies. There were 75 homicides occurring in Oakland last year. That is down from 85 in 2016, and that follows that downward trend. 2016 brought a 12% drop in violent crime versus the 5-year average, and a 20% drop in robberies. The police department has credited the improvement on a more prominent police presence and getting help from the community. With better technology, more residents and business owners are giving police video evidence of crime. Churches, youth groups, and nonprofits have also been stepping up their work in prevention.
So you heard that. Oakland has historically low numbers in 2018. Then we had the Black Lives Matter movement. And the focus was not on law enforcement and holding people accountable for criminal activity, but making excuses for why people were committing these crimes and a more lenient approach to criminal activity. The city also decided to defund the police, and this happened.
In Oakland tonight, the police chief is predicting and pleading more resources to fight crime. KPIX5's Andrea Nakano on how the city council responded.
According to Chief Laron Armstrong, the police department has lost roughly $25 million in funding since last June. He says taking away those resources has had a direct impact on the increase in violence.
This is a tall task in the city of Oakland to address this violence, but you can't do it without resources.
Oakland is coming off another violent week as crime in 2021 has skyrocketed in the past year. According to the Oakland Police Department, the city has seen 41 homicides so far this year compared to 13 in the same time period in 2020. That's a 215% increase.
Now think about that. In 2017, there were only 74 murders in the entire year. In 2021, up until the month of April, because these numbers are only up till the month of April, there are already 41 murders. So if you just do the math, that's about 120 murders. They're on task to get 120 murders that year. That is an astonishingly high number. Now let's fast forward 2 years later to 2023, and they're about to elect Mayor Tao.
To solve Oakland's problems, we need a mayor who is determined. I grew up in poverty and I've survived domestic violence. but I was determined. I put myself through school, got into public service, and became a council member, making a difference on public safety, homelessness, and housing. As mayor, I'll bring that same determination to leading this city, because Oakland, our time is now.
So this left-leaning mayor takes office and crime essentially explodes.
Violent weekend in Oakland where police are investigating 24 armed robberies that took place within a 72-hour span.
You know, businesses near the Oakland Hills are getting pretty desperate for solutions. You can't blame them. They say a steady stream of break-ins, some caught on surveillance video, is not only threatening their safety, but also their livelihoods.
Robbery is a different story. While it's gone slightly up and down over the last 5 years, the 38% increase between 2022 and 2023 was dramatic. Turning to property crime, auto burglaries were high in 2019, then dropped for a year and have been rising ever since to a level in 2023 not seen in the last 10 years. Commercial burglaries have also seen a steady increase for the most part over the last 5 years and have almost tripled since 2019.
Now, Mayor, some of your critics do allege that the burglary that took Officer Lay's life and other crimes that happened in 2023, that they happened on your watch. Data from your police department shows robberies, burglaries, and car thefts all up last year. How do you explain that?
You know, I have the best job in the world. That's because every day I have a chance to fight for a safer, more affordable, and prosperous Oakland. And I ask all Oaklanders to help me achieve that vision with hope and with collaboration, and really push aside division and fear. The only way that we're going to get through this is together. And, you know, I want to thank you for that question, because I should clarify the record. I have 3 points I want to make. First, making Oakland safer for children, families, businesses, and visitors is my top priority. And I join Oaklanders in demanding for more prevention, more enforcement, and more accountability for the criminal groups inflicting harm upon our community. Second, crime in Oakland has been on a steady rise since 2019. A full 3 years before I took office. And it is dishonest for anyone to state that crime started rising under my watch only. Under my watch, however, we looked under the hood and identified issues that needed fixing while setting priorities that really move Oakland forward. And third, my record is clear. Despite inheriting rising crime rates and a historic budget deficit, I have taken aggressive action to reduce crime by investing in a robust police department, by strengthening violence prevention initiatives, and leveraging technology to disrupt the criminal networks. And under my leadership, Oakland has more police officers, more safety ambassadors, and more violence prevention teams on our streets than any time in the last 2 years. Of course, things don't get better overnight. We have already diagnosed the issue, right? And so right now we are implementing our plan so that we can ensure to reduce crime and improve the whole community sense of security here in the city of Oakland.
Now, negligence is the word of the day, and it seems like the mayor of Oakland may be negligent. But right now, if you're injured by someone else's negligence, reach out to me at NateTheLawyer.com. That's NateTheLawyer.com, or you can dial the number 571-NATE-LAW. That's 571-NATE-LAW. And we handle a wide variety of cases, everything from medical malpractice claims to motor vehicle accidents to sexual abuse allegations. Now, the call is free, the advice is free, and we don't get paid unless we win your case. Just call the number on the screen or click the link in the description. Now, because things are going so bad in Oakland, they decided to try to recall the mayor.
The group seeking to recall Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao was able to get the necessary number of signatures to place the recall on the ballot. ABC 7 News reporter Unser Hassan spoke with retired Judge Brenda Harbin-Forty, who is leading the campaign. She's calling on the mayor to resign before the November election.
Now, you got all that happening. Then all of a sudden, the FBI is raiding her home.
Right now on the afternoon edition, breaking news out of Oakland. FBI agents raiding the home of Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao. Good afternoon. I'm Sean Chitness in for Ryan Yamamoto. CBS News Bay Area has confirmed the FBI carrying out a series of raids across the city this morning.
This story has been developing all day and all over Oakland. Before dawn, FBI agents raided the Maiden Lane home of Mayor Sheng Thao. Other agents, including from the IRS, raided the Embarcadero offices of California Waste Solutions. The FBI also raided 2 homes on Viewcrest Court and Skyline Boulevard linked to the Duong family, which runs California California Waste Solutions, a major garbage vendor.
Law enforcement sources tell me this is a public corruption case with the FBI, IRS, and U.S. Postal Service working together. Agents hit several locations, including the offices of California Waste Solutions. We spotted IRS investigators there and saw these agents leaving with boxes of evidence late in the day. The company was started by David and Victor Duong, who were under investigation by the Public Ethics Commission for funneling money through straw donors to council members, a story first reported by Oaklanside in 2020. Sheng Tao allegedly received some of that money. She also traveled with the Duong brothers who funded the trade mission to Vietnam last summer. All this in a week with her recall being approved for a vote.
Oakland is in crisis. The mayor's office is in crisis.
Sam Singer has guided political campaigns and corporations through various types of crisis. He says the future does not look bright.
In the last 24 hours, 40,000 voters turned in signatures to have the mayor recalled. This morning, she wakes up and the FBI is knocking her door down. I don't see how she overcomes this.
Now, things don't look too good for Mayor Thao. But today, Mayor Thao came and responded to these accusations of corruption.
And I want to be crystal clear. I have done nothing wrong. I can tell you with confidence that this investigation is not about me. I have not been charged with the crime, and I am confident that I will not be charged with the crime because I am innocent. Just like you, I am seeking answers from the U.S. Attorney about what is happening and why. I wasn't offered the opportunity to cooperate voluntarily.
So what do you think? Is the light on crime mayor going to be asking a judge to give her a light on crime sentence? Do you think she should get recalled? Because now you have a mayor who the FBI is raiding their house and who's up for a recall vote. So Oakland, with its massive crime spikes, massive budget deficits, and also all the major sports teams are leaving Oakland or have left Oakland. For instance, the last one to leave is the Oakland Athletics. And guess where they're going? They're going to Las Vegas. So Oakland will not have any major sports teams.
Well, speaking of Las Vegas, ESPN reports the Oakland Athletics will be relocating to Vegas. They will become baseball's first team in Sin City. The team's lease with the Oakland Coliseum expires after the 2024 season, and the team has failed efforts to secure a new stadium to replace the aging, crumbling Coliseum.
Okay, so that's the curious case of Mayor Thao. Let me know in the comment section what I got wrong. Tell me if you agree with the recall effort or if you think it's a little too premature. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, do like great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.